welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are talking about the very worst films of 2019. Now these are my personal choices. They're most likely going to differ from yours, but that gives us a chance to have a conversation down below. So comment, let me know, what are your choices for the very worst films of this past year? Let's start with number 10. It is Little. Yeah, I know. It has a kid, and it was her idea to do this film, and she was in it. She was also the executive producer, but it just didn't work for me. I felt like all the funny parts were in the trailer, and honestly, the funniest part of the film was, for me, was Regina Hall, and she was only in it for maybe 15, 20 minutes. So in my opinion, that's a failure. Number 9 is 5 Feet Apart, and this is the perfect example of what I was talking about in my Cats review. Not every book needs to be turned into a movie. This is a teenage romance with an obstacle. They both have cystic fibrosis. They can't touch each other. They can't be together, even though they're longing for one another. And there's holes in the subplots. Things make no sense. I just didn't enjoy myself in the theater. Number 8 is The Hustle. Rebel Wilson, Anne Hathaway, female version of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Didn't work. I know what they were going for, and actually the first 20 minutes I was enjoying myself. I really, really was. But then that's when Anne Hathaway kind of came in, and I'm not the biggest fan of Anne Hathaway, especially not in this film, because she decided to put a bunch of accents on. She's British, she's French, and I couldn't understand what she was saying half the time. It was like her mouth was full of marbles, and I just didn't care for it at all. Plus, there were things that they were doing in the movie, like practicing for things, that they didn't even do later on in the movie. So what was the point of doing all those exercises before? It just didn't make any sense. Number 7 for me is Greta. Old lady is obsessed with a young girl. Old lady kidnaps young girl. But young girl can't escape from old lady. Does this make any sense to you? Not to me. Number 6 is Palms. Diane Keaton. I can't even believe that I went and saw this film. I must have been bored that day. I know. A bunch of retirement older ladies want to be cheerleaders. Who wrote this? Who wrote this? And why did Diane Keaton agree to be in it? Just when I thought she couldn't get worse than book club, she does Palms. Number 5 is Gemini Man. And I feel bad for Will Smith because this was supposed to be the revival year of Will Smith because he's been out of the game for a little bit, but he came back strong with Aladdin, and then this movie, Gemini Man, was supposed to add to that, and then his new animated release, Spies in Disguise, is out right now. Apparently that's doing well. Not Gemini Man. Big, gigantic flop. You have a script from the 90s that was probably rewritten so many times, and then you have bad CGI in certain spots, and it's noticeable, and the plot line, it just didn't mix up very well. Number 4 is Anna, another spy movie where your lead actress is this spy that can do anything and everything. She's a model. This is like the first or second acting job that she's done, and it truly shows. She really is not good at all. And the time jumps in the film were killing me. They were going back and forth and back and forth, and I felt like they were relying on twists and turns. I like a good twisty spy movie, but when you give me like 10, that's way too much. I want 1 or 2. 1 or 2 really good ones, not 10. Number 3 is Charlie's Angels. I think we all know the reason why. This is a remake we didn't ask for, we didn't want. This was Elizabeth Banks' choice to do this. Her name is written all over it, and it was a big, giant failure. Number 2 is The Kitchen. I wanted this film to be good so bad. Everyone's saying it's a female Goodfellas. It's this, it's that. It had so much potential. Your three lead actresses have so much talent. Melissa McCarthy, Tiffany Haddish, Elizabeth Moss. I mean, come on. How can you lose? You lost. You want to know why? Because your director was a first-time director. She didn't know what she was doing. All I got was a bunch of big talk, walking up and down the street and sitting and having meetings at diners. That's all it was. And it was so, so bad. And I was looking forward to seeing Tiffany Haddish finally coming out of the comedic arena and doing something dramatic, something completely different. And it totally missed the mark. My number one worst film of the entire year, and if you're paying attention to me, you know what it is. It's Cats. It has to be Cats. Because if I did not even understand the basic plot line, that is the worst. I didn't know what was going on. I was confused. I was bored. And I almost fell asleep twice. So therefore, Cats is the worst. Let me know down in the comments, what is your top 10 worst films of the year? Like, subscribe, hit that red button. Please consider it. There is a lot of award content coming at us very, very quickly within a month time span. Reactions and predictions and a whole bunch. You're not going to want to miss it. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you at the movies.